Hi folks, this is Roland. We're looking at the fifth update for broadcastGEMs Make A great. So quickly we're looking at align and distribute, and this has gone through quite a major update, not only in the UI, UI major change, but functionality, minor changes, and a couple of big changes I assume. And some utilities and stuff, but they're all really, really beautiful stuff. You've got two modes now, align and distribute. So at the top, nothing changes as you change your mode, just the main chunk here. So we'll look at align and some of the utilities, and these are your auto buttons, auto distribute buttons, but one of them is available in the align option. Under distribute, you get the full options there. So maybe let's look at that quickly. I'm gonna lock these guys, and with these guys I'm just gonna move them about here and switch this off. This moves all the layers that you selected. It moves the center point to the center of the composition. Now, why is this useful? Because sometimes you've got stuff up here, down here, and it's very hard to judge. Sometimes it's a lot cleaner to have them in the center, right? And sometimes you do want things in the center. So assume you've got stuff like this. So just click this guy, and what it does is it moves in the center of all selected layers into the center of the composition. Next, I'm going to go to distribute, and this is automated distribution. So select your layers. Obviously you don't have to select all, just the ones you want to distribute, and click on the automated or auto horizontal distribution. So that's just one button click and it moves everything to the center. They've distributed it based on the settings here. So if I undo, let's choose composition size. See that? And let's go with custom size. For custom size and gap, if you have one of the other options, it will disregard that. It will always center. Alright, these two buttons will always center. Alright, so if you want 500, there you go. So this is super quick, and then from here you can move them about. I'm gonna undo. Okay. Another option is sometimes you want to center them, alright, but not in the center of the composition here. But let's say you want them as a group centered, but along this part of the y-axis. So for that, you hold down Control Shift, click here, and it will be centered, but right here, based on the last layer that you selected. So if you select all, you deselect and reselect, this becomes the last layer selected. Hold down Control Shift and click. Alright? Easy as that. And for trigger buttons, this guy obviously does the trigger, but you can shift click here on this guy also to trigger the settings. Alright, now remember, shift click here is different from these guys. These guys work slightly differently. These are automated. And next is this one. Alright. Then same thing, if I select everything and this is the last selected, if I hold down Control Shift and click, that's where it will be centered. Alright. not at the X center. Over here, nothing else has changed. Everything is the same, but it looks a lot neater, I think. Right? All your other options are here. I will do a longer video for those who have just purchased it, but if you purchased it before, you should be fine now. Alright. Next, we'll do a quick look at the utilities. So these are extremely cool. Again, they've got tooltips, so just move your cursor on top. With a few moments for the tooltip, shortcuts are there, and your help notes are here also. Alright, so what do these guys do? Well, this is pretty cool, yeah? Sometimes you get, especially when you're in Illustrator and stuff, you get files which are, because they were created at video size or video frame size, and that means you're going to get a lot of empty pixels there. But align and distribute works based on layer boundaries. So if you're going to align these two, even if you scaled them down, the script is going to take into account the empty pixels here, which is not great, right? So that's where this comes in. So I've got these two guys selected. I'm going to click this. It's created mask, and as you can see now, the empty pixels are gone and your mask is there. So now when you align, let's do a quick alignment here. It works. Beautiful. You can command click and set your mask color and also your threshold, because sometimes you may have semi-transparent. So for those cases, you may want to tweak this maybe a little bit higher so that you get some semi-transparent areas coming through. Otherwise 3 or even 0 will do better. Too high is not great. Let's see what happens if it's... this one is to remove mask, and again if you command click, you got options. So I'm going to remove mask because now I want to set it to, let's say 72. See what happens. You eat too much of the original pixels, so be mindful. And this guy remembers your settings, yeah? So after you've adjusted it, keep that in mind. So don't set it too high. Now another one, just super useful, is same settings. It does pre-compose and then it draws the mask. So sometimes you have a few layers that you want to pre-compose, but then you don't want the empty pixels. So see, if I pre-compose now, it comes in and you got a whole bunch of empty pixels, and that's not great for alignment or distribution. So click on this, so select layers, click on this, boom. So now they're a single layer and they have a single shared boundary, and it's right at where the pixels or the layers were. Right, remove mask, we're gonna undo, we're gonna duplicate. This is pretty cool. This creates a null parent. Sometimes you just want to create a parent, so this creates a not necessarily a centered boundary or null, but you've got all these options based on the boundary of the selected layers or boundary of the composition. Right, and there are two, there are actually three, could be more, but there's another option which I may add for the next update, but right now these two should cover you pretty well. Okay, so let's see, I pick top left. Okay, I'm going to select all. You can see the top left boundary. Okay, forgot to show you. So right now, it supports separate dimensions, which it didn't, I don't think so. But now it does. Supports 3D also, but not if you have really wild 3D settings. Yeah, I've got another script coming up which will do that much better. But if you not move your 3D layers much, the alignment here works well, especially in Z space. Don't move it in Z space too much or at all. And there's a shift click support also, yeah. So if you shift click, it will deploy your last setting. Right, so there are 3 shortcuts actually. Under align, you've got icons now, and everything else is the same. Right, so using icons should look less cluttered, but everything's the same. Right, left, right, X center, top, bottom, and Y center. Alright, so those work exactly the same. Right, that's it. That's the update for Align Distribute. Right, cheers, bye bye.